Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Kiddushin, page 29, which discusses that there are certain obligations that a parent has to their child, and one of them is to make sure that their son gets married. And on this, the Talmud tells us that a person is encouraged to get married at an early age. In fact, it's brought down that when it came to Rav Chisda, he said, the reason why I'm greater than my friends is because I got married when I was 16 years old. And I only wish that I would have gotten married even younger at age 14, in which at that point I would have complete control over any of my evil inclinations, and I would end up being even a greater Torah scholar than I already am. And on this, the Talmud further says the importance of getting married at a very young age. It says that God, so to speak, is waiting patiently for you to get married. And he's waiting from when you're young until 20 years old. And he says, when is this person going to get married? It's literally the language of the Gemara, similar to a grandparent. When are you getting married already? But then it says something fascinating. Once you've reached the ripe old age of 20 years old, at that point, if you're not married, I'll tell you the language that in the Gemara, tipuch atzmosav. Your bones will break, or your bones will somehow disintegrate. Something will happen to your bones in a negative way. What exactly does that mean? It's like the greatest punishment that we're going to end up physically having your bones broken? What does that mean? Just because you didn't get married until you were 20 or a little bit beyond 20. And nowadays especially, we don't find people getting married typically at such a young age. And some people encourage, better you should get married when you're a little bit older, you're more financially secure. Why is it that the Torah is telling us, the Talmud is saying, that you should get married when you're so young? And what exactly does this mean? So in this, Rabbi Zweig explains that even though, of course, there is an advantage of getting married when you're older because you'll have more money financially, but there is a downside. And that downside is that you are single in your 20s, deep into your 30s, so you've already matured as an adult. You probably have a job, not your first job, you're probably getting more established financially, and every night you go into your apartment, to your home, and you have your routines, and you're set in your ways. And then all of a sudden you get married to someone who also was set in their ways. There is a great challenge when those two people come together to be able to live one harmonious life and to live under one roof. When a person is young and gets married before they've really established themselves, and you marry a young woman who also is basically almost like a kid, just 18, 19 years old, let's say, so you're not mature, you have not matured, but you've also not been set in your ways. And therefore, now that both of you come together, you'll be able to grow as a couple. You'll be able to mature as adults together and to be able to develop together as one. On this, the Talmud says, if you wait too long, it's tipuch atzmosav. It's not a punishment. It's just a reality. In order for you to be able to come together, it's like bones smashing into each other. It is a lot of additional challenge. It's an additional strife because you're going into a relationship where you're set in your ways and she's set in her ways. Now, again, I'm not promoting that you should get married at a very, very young age, but the Talmud does have an important idea, and that is as you wait a little bit too long, you start getting very picky. And you don't want this girl, and you don't want this guy. And the reality is, you become more set in your ways, and that may be a difficult way to start a marriage.